Om. Om. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamatsyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Okay. Hello everybody. Last time we saw from verse 5 onwards, very important instruction Bhagavan has given: lift yourself by yourself, which I explained to you in great detail as regards the 5 personalities that we each one have these 5 personalities. In the transactional level, the highest personality is the intellectual level or the intellectual personality. So when it says lift yourself by yourself, if it is some matter in the transactional world, because we are living in the transactional world and we are facing challenges day to day, then the idea is that the intellect should prevail. There should be an objective looking at every situation, and then whatever the intellect is telling you, or what is also known as conscience, your conscience tells you, you know what, this is not correct what you're doing. Or then the intellect, where things like driving, it's not your conscience, but then it's your intellect that's telling you don't jump the red light or don't stop at the stop sign, those type of things. So depending on what situation it is in the transactional level, it could be anything. Intellect has to rule. But when it comes to spiritual evolution, the problem is not at the other levels. The problem is at the level of the intellect. And that problem is of doership and enjoyership. The ego functions is at the level of the intellect. It is the intellect which says, I am the one that is doing, and I am the one that will enjoy. Now, this notion is an obstacle in spiritual evolution. Up in the transactional level, it doesn't matter. So the intellect says, okay, intellect is telling you do good, don't do bad. And yeah, that is the correct instruction at the transactional level. And then the person will do it, and that's fine. He's taken a correct decision based on the intellect. But what happens is, and in the transactional level, because of that, he may have spoken something very honestly, he may have done good, so he'll get his promotion, or whatever is in the material world, he will get it. But if he's looking for spiritual emancipation, then what happens is, when that thought comes, see, I did and I got this result, which I'm very happy about and I'm going to enjoy, then it becomes an impediment in the spiritual evolution. So that's why there is always a big if. Do you want to progress on the spiritual path? If you do, then the intellect has to be taken care of, and the intellect can only be taken care of by the spiritual personality, because intellect is the highest. So I told you, the lower levels cannot control the higher. By higher, I mean subtler. The gross cannot control the subtle. So intellect is the subtlest. It's subtler than the mental level, pranas, body, gross body. So to control the intellect, the spiritual, and this here, because this is an instruction to Arjun and through Arjun to us, remember one thing about the Bhagavad Gita, it is actually a personal guidance, a personal instruction to Arjun, because Arjun was the only one who was standing there and Arjun was the only one who had asked for guidance. So it is to Arjun, and what Arjun was doing in the first chapter, we have seen, he had refused to fight because his intellect told him that it is wrong to kill your own grandfather, which is correct. In the transactional world, if somebody kill your for no reason, just kill your grandfather, your guru, it's wrong. In the transactional level, definitely it was wrong. That's what he was arguing. But that's why now Bhagwan is telling him that, yes, it is correct at the intellectual level, but at the spiritual level, it is not correct. Because even though they are your grandfather and your guru, they're standing on the side of adharma. And this is how the spiritual personality has to overcome the intellect. And intellect is ego. Ego is the one that is telling me that I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. That has to be then taken care of by the spiritual personality. And that is the high. There is nothing higher than the spiritual personality. It is the subtlest. Okay. So this is what Bhagwan means here, that lift yourself by, in the transactional world, use the intellect. For spiritual emancipation, you have to use the spiritual personality. And what is spiritual personality? What the scriptures are telling us. How do you know what is scripture? What is the intellectual, when you have read in the book, like, example, you're driving, you've read the driving manual, that is intellect. It has read, it has understood, the intellect has understood, and now the intellect has to follow when the person is driving on the road. So for the spiritual personality, what is the guidance? The manual is only the scriptures. Manual for spiritual personality is the scriptures, and scriptures is Bhagavad Gita, Vivek, any text, any Vedas, of course, the highest, but not everybody can have access to the Vedas. So Bhagavad Gita is there, other texts. So whatever is being told here should be the guidance for the spiritual personality. Okay. And then don't let yourself fall. So the fall again, in the transactional world, it is when I do something wrong, nobody's watching, I just don't stop at the stop sign, or I just go a little bit fast because I'm in a rush. All those things fall in the transactional world. In the spiritual world, the fall is when I take credit for whatever that I do. Guilt and vanity, both are obstacles. So there is guilt for something that I have done wrong, and there is vanity, there is pride for something that I have done good. And that has to be taken care of. That's where Bhagwan is saying, don't fall. Do not fall, he says, right? First is lift yourself by yourself. Second is do not fall. Do not fall means do not take doership and ownership. Do not take ownership of the actions that you have done. Through knowledge, understanding that this action comes out of the play of the gunas. Understanding that you are something different than the action as well as the doer of the action. With understanding. Scriptures is through understanding. Other methods are there. Bhakti or Hatha Yoga, control of the pranas, etc. But when we talk of Vedanta, then Vedanta, you have to follow instructions through knowledge and knowledge alone. There's nothing physical to be done. For spiritual emancipation, physical, there is nothing to be. Now, physical, you're reading, listening, that does that. But everything has to be done at the spiritual level. And then make the mind your friend. A friend is somebody who helps you move towards your goal. If the mind is your friend, it will help you move towards your goal because it will stay under the control of the intellect. That is why a mind which is under the control of the intellect is a friend. A mind who is not under the control of the intellect is your enemy. And with enemy, there will always be friction. There will be strife. There will be fight. You're constantly fighting against your own mind. Then that is creating agitation in the mind. And in an agitated mind, knowledge cannot arise clearly. That is the reason. Okay, so that's why Bhagwan said, make mind your friend. Then The self is the friend for him who has conquered himself by the self. So this is again an extension of that, where the mind is now is under the complete control of the intellect. And the mind, and how is it under the control of the intellect? Again, in Vedanta, it is through knowledge, knowing. The mind is, the senses are extroverted, and the mind is used to running with the senses, running outside with the senses. So understanding that participation of senses in this world, which is what, which is indulging in the world, is not going to take me towards spiritual emancipation. Knowing that, that's why it's knowledge. It's always knowledge based, knowing that this is not going to do me any good. With that understanding, you tame the mind and you bring it under the control of the intellect. And then that friend of yours will help you. That's why Amrit Bandhu Upanishad has said that the mind is a cause for bondage. Mind itself is the cause for liberation. A mind which is running after the senses, running outside, indulging in the world, is the cause for bondage. That same mind, when it comes under the control of the intellect, when it becomes introverted, it becomes a means to liberation. So it's the same mind. Now 7, 8, and 9, I told you, are the 3 verses which are an elaboration of the phrase samatvam yoga uchyate, which Bhagavan said in chapter 2. He said that equipoise, equanimity itself is yoga. Yoga coming from yuj, dhatu, the verbal root is yuj, to join. So if you want to join the higher, then you have to be equanimous. And Bhagavan actually made us say, being equanimous itself is yoga. That's what he said. He's equated equanimity to yoga. So you remain equanimous, you are in a state of yoga. And even before that, Bhagavan had instructed Arjun, sukha dukhe samay krutva. That is, be equanimous in joy and sorrow. And so these 3 verses are the fulfillment of that verse 47 from chapter 2, which is sukha dukhe samay krutva. This is fulfillment, and this is an elaboration of samatvam yoga uchyate. Okay, so jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitah shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoho. The supreme self of him who is self-controlled and peaceful is balanced in cold and heat, pleasure and pain, as also in honor and dishonor. So here this is equipoise as regards to internal thoughts, because mana apmana, honor, dishonor, is at the level of the intellect. This pleasure and pain, which is joy and sorrow, is at the level of the mind. And shita and ushna, which is heat and cold, is at the level of the body. So at 3 different levels, we see these pairs of opposites. These are examples. The entire world is nothing but pairs of opposites only. Okay, we have summer, then we have winter, we have rain, then we have, spring, we have autumn, we have joy, we have sorrow. So this entire world is pairs of opposites. These 3 are taken up as an example. At the level of the body, we feel heat and cold. What does it mean? Even in chapter 2, Bhagavan said, Matra sparshastu kaunteya. When there is a contact of the body with these external bodies, what the senses, with the external world, there will be one of the 2 pairs of opposites. It is inevitable. You cannot avoid. If it is hot, you will feel hot. If it is cold, you will feel cold. You cannot just avoid that. Okay. So the external situation can never be avoided. What can be controlled is my reaction to it. When Bhagavan said, sukha dukhe samay krutva, see, sukha is sukha, joy. It's different from sorrow. They are not equal. Joy is not, that is not Bhagavan, what Bhagavan is saying. Joy is not equal to sorrow. Bhagavan cannot say joy and sorrow are same, No. They are not same. They are different. But you are only one, na? You have only one mind. What is your reaction to joy? What is your reaction to sorrow? That should not be different. And right now, how we are When there is joy, we are very happy. We want it repeated. We want that situation repeated. We want whatever that gave us happiness. We want it again and again and again. And we have spraha, that is the word. We have the longing for that. Oh, I hope it happens again. I hope I get invited for party again. I hope some good movie comes again. I hope, hope. We're living in hope only. Hope that. That's why Bhagavan has said, Nirashi, don't live in the hope or live in the present. Hope is in the future. We live in the future. It's a future is imagined. It may or may not happen. So right now, what you do is understand that these are the pairs. This is the world. This is what is going to happen no matter what. I remain the same. And the one who says, I will remain the same is a yoga. As per this chapter, it is yoga rudha. We saw that. Yoga, the one who is trying to climb the steed of his mind. These three verses are referring to the one who has already climbed the steed of his mind. The mind is under his control. When at the level of the body, when heat comes and when cold comes, and okay, he remains same. Vedanta is not telling you not to take a blanket when it is cold, like not to start your heat or not to start your AC in your apartment or house if you have it, if it's hot. Vedanta is not telling you. That is not the meaning of Sukha Dukhe Samay Krutva. That is not. If there is a solution, do it, but don't complain. And if there is no solution, bear it quietly. Endure. There is one word endure and there is one word enjoy. Okay, endure is okay, chalta hai, chalo, what to do? I don't have AC in the apartment, it's hot today. I will, as a spiritual seeker, they say, don't endure, enjoy. That is the difference between, that is the spiritual evolution. First, we were not even we were complain. It's too hot. It's this, it's too cold. This is complain. That is one level. Then as you come into this, then you say, okay, no. Now I've read Gita, I should endure. So I should at least not complain that much. So I'm not complaining, I'm enduring. But as you go higher in your spiritual, that is how you know. People ask, how do I know that I'm progressing spiritually? Really, how do you know? It's only an internal barometer. It is nothing external. Nothing happens. Not there's this glow on the skin. No such thing happens. But internally, your mind, how is it reacting? Is it enjoying? Okay. That much you have advanced in your spiritual practice. Okay. So at the level of the body, in spite of whatever the circumstances outside, I remain the same. At the level of the mind, there is joy and there is sorrow, and both these will come. Be sure of that. You know why? Because human birth is coming out of 50% merit, 50% demerit. Demerit is bringing sorrow, merit is bringing joy. If it is 50-50, one day there will be joy, next day there'll be sorrow. They are two sides of the same coin. You cannot have one side of the coin, the other side I don't want. You can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. So knowing this, that's why knowledge, that's why we give knowledge. So know that I have been born because I've got, so there will be some sorrow in my life, there will be some joy in my life, but now Bhagwan is telling me to remain equanimous. When there is, that's why we have a famous say, even this too shall pass. So remember that if it is sorrow, that will pass. If it is joy, don't get too attached to it either. That is going to pass as well. Knowingly, that's why there was a question last time, like you get these thoughts, what do I do? Remain equanimous to the thought, because understanding the genesis of thought. Some of you have heard this, but some of you are new. Where is thought coming from? That is to be understood. Is it coming from outside or is it coming from inside? Most of us, or rather those who are not in this path, they think thought is generated from outside. So I see an ad on TV or paper or somewhere, and then I have the desire to do that, maybe movie, maybe whatever. And I think, see, I saw that ad, and because of that ad, this thought came in my mind. That is incorrect. That is absolutely incorrect. And the reason, the most basic reason is, now there is an ad on TV. How many people must have been watching that same show and that same ad? Do you think that every one single person had that desire to whatever that ad? If maybe it is for a restaurant, maybe it is for a movie, maybe it is for shoes, for clothes, for fashion, for what? You think everybody who watched that ad had the desire to buy that? You think, is it possible? In that same family, if you have a family of 4 and you are all watching, okay, do you think all 4 suddenly had the idea of buying that same pair of shoes or same pair of clothes or same movie? If the thought is being generated by that ad, then that ad should generate the same thought in all the 4 members of the family. Am I right? Am I right? Does that make sense? Your children are watching with you. There is an ad for some, I don't know, okay, children are watching. There's some ad for a toy. Do you think you son, oh, I want that toy? Do you say that? Or only is your child saying that? Nintendo or what is the latest video games? Why? Why? If the thought is being generated by that ad, all of you must have the same thought, but we don't. But we don't. That is why Vedanta tells us that thought is generated from within, from inside of me. And what is inside of me is the impressions that I have brought from my previous lives, which in technical language is called as vasana. We have the chart. I mean, friends, I had some further date in September. If we can keep that chart handy to show people, because there are new people joining in. Our Om chart. Okay. So, what it is because we have gone through many, many births, and this is what scriptures are telling us, we have created these impressions or vasanas. How do I create an impression? By repeating a thing. Okay. So most common example, which Gurudev has given, I drink tea every day for 8 days. On the 9th day, this is the chart. Okay. Look at the screen now. There is the chart. So there's the Om Supreme Consciousness. This is a chart which was done up by Gurudev. And this vasanas, this is the most subtlest level in our personality. The reason I say most subtle is because even I don't know what is in my vasanas. None of us knows. The intellect we know, mind and intellect. I know my mind and intellect, but you don't know my mind and intellect. So it is subtle. And body can be seen by myself and by you. My body can be seen by everybody. So it is the grossest. So this is the body, this mind and intellect is the subtle, and vasanas. Now thought is coming out of that vasana level. And the vasana, I don't know, but when it appears as a thought in the mind, in the intellect, then I can see that thought and then I know. And that thought is what either creates a desire or it creates hate as well. Suppose if a person who is not drinking sees an ad for a liquor store or alcoholic drinks, that vasana is there, a negative vasana. Negative means negative or positive, we cannot say. There is a vasana of not liking that drink. That person's thought will be, oh my God, I hate this. Whereas a person who has a vasana to drink alcoholic drinks, he'll say, oh, lovely, there's a new store in my neighborhood. Now I have to go check it out. And then there will be a third person who will be totally blank. Nothing. There is no hate. There is no like. Because that vasana is not there only. It's not there only. There are so many people who do not drink tea or coffee, right? They just don't drink it. Not that they hate it or anything. That vasana is not there. And when we have that vasana for tea, somebody offers, somebody offers, I will 9 out of 10 times, I will say yes. Because I do have that vasana. Okay. So that is where the thought is coming from. That has to be understood. So the vasana is there. And last time there was a question. We can remove this now. So last time we had a question, like when the thought arises, what do I do or how do I get rid of it? Be neutral. If you're trying to get rid of it, it means that you don't like it. If you are trying to run with that thought, it means you like it. So in any case, you're running away or you're running towards. The whole idea of Vedanta is to remain at one place. And this is Yoga Rudha. A person who has climbed the steed of his mind, it doesn't matter what thought comes in. He knows it has come from inside. He knows it has come from his vasana level. He knows that he cannot control the vasanas. Why? Because they have been collected over past births. How can you go into the past, and you cannot even go to the last hour and undo or do whatever that you have done or not done? How can you go into the past life? You can't. What you can't do, don't try. Don't try even. What is the point? Don't even question, why did this thought come in my mind? Don't question, because it was there in the last night came. Because then you're going in circles. But why? Oh, I'm such a bad person. You can be in a temple and the most lustiest thought might come in your mind. You might be in a movie theater and a most holy thought might come in your mind. Because this outside is not determining the thought. Inside is. And inside is vasana, and vasana is unknown. So when the thought comes, it becomes known. And at that point, you remain same. That is the idea. Then you're a yoga arudha. Are you getting upset? Why did this? Are you cursing? Oh my God, I'm such a bad person. We used to do that. Now I'm such a bad person. Like this bad thought came in my mind. It doesn't make you bad or good. Or then we have the vanity. Such a great thought came to my mind. I'm such a great person. Both have to be avoided. Both have to be. We were not avoiding both. Now we know. Now we avoid. And this is how I can remain. Honor and dishonor. One day there'll be, my God, in Sandeep, one day everybody is all friendly, somebody's friendly, and the next day they're not even looking at you. That's why you become immune. Once you go through the course, do your course, you totally become immune. Honor and dishonor. The example Gurudev is given there. Be like the statue. In fountain, Flora Fountain, Flora Bombay. If whoever has been to Bombay, Flora Fountain is like downtown Bombay, quote unquote. And then there is a statue. And then once a year, when it is birthday of that person, then there'll be garland, and then there'll be, the rest of the time, the pigeons are doing their business on that statue. What is the statue doing? Nothing. Fine. That is how we have to be. That is how we have. One day, people will spit at us. One day, they will come with a garland. You never know. Same person will be all friendly. And one day, boom, no talking. And you don't even know why. What did I do? What did I do? We go on with what did I do? What did I do? We go through that thing. That's why later on Bhagavan says you be friendly to all. Don't be a friend to anybody. Like, this is my best friend. That's kindergarten stuff. So only you and me, we are friends. No. You're friendly with everybody. This is as regards to the state of the mind, because even heat and cold, the body feels, but in the mind, you think, oh my God, it's so cold. I'm freezing or whatever. Okay. So at these three levels, maintain your equanimity. Maintain. Now, next one. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho Vijitendriyaha Yutta Ityuchate Yogi Samaloshthashma Kanchanaha. The yogi who is satisfied with knowledge and wisdom, will see the difference, who remains unshaken, who has conquered his senses, to whom a lump of earth, a stone, and gold are the same, is said to be harmonized. That is, he has said to have attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Okay. Jnana and Vijnana, there are two words. Jnana, knowledge, Vijnana, wisdom. The difference is Jnana is something which is paroksha, which you have heard from somebody, And the most common example is you hear about Niagara Falls. Say you come first time into Canada, and then, oh, Niagara Falls is so big and beautiful, and this and this. You've only heard, that is knowledge. Now you decide to go there because you heard such great things. You actually go there and you actually see the falls, and now it becomes wisdom, Vijnana. So Vijnana is your self-experience. Jnana is something which you have either read or somebody told you or you saw on TV or like that. Okay. It's like, oh, this dish is so good, but I have never had it before. Now you eat it. Now it's your own experience. That is what Vijnana is. Triptatma. So he's extremely content. Tripta is, what is content? Contentment and happiness are two different things. Contentment is when you are happy with whatever that you have. So you may be living in a one bedroom apartment, and you can be totally content saying, oh my God, I've got a one bedroom apartment, because there are people who don't even have an apartment and they are on the road. Or you could be in a palace with 100 rooms and you're like, oh, I know people, how big is your 4-bedroom house? But it is small, no? How a 4-bedroom house in the heart of Vancouver, right in this area, is small is beyond me. I do not understand that. So a person can be contentment can, you may have everything in the world and yet there will be something, no, but this is not there, no. Okay. But the one who has gotten experience with jnana of this blissful self, who has understood that he himself or herself is the source of that bliss, will be always content no matter what is there outside. Whatever circumstances are coming to him, he is always happy. Kutastha. Kutastha word is used for the pure consciousness, actually. Kuta means like an anvil. You know, an anvil, a blacksmith or a goldsmith, they use anvil. So anvil is a block of either iron or I don't know what the goldsmith uses, probably not iron, some other material. But anyway, and on that, the blacksmith, what he will do is he will heat the iron so it becomes soft and then put it on the anvil and then shape it. Like the goldsmith also, the gold is sort of made soft in the fire and then they put it on the anvil and then they shape it. So bangle, ring, whatever. Now in this, what is being shaped changes, like the gold will change into different shape or the iron will change into a different shape, but the anvil remains same. Kuta, that is called kuta. Kuta is to stay. Kuta is to stay same. So the person who has experienced the bliss of the self will remain same in all circumstances. That is what this verse is this book is my father's books. Most of you know, but there are new people. It is written V-imp, means very important. And this is not an instruction from my father, it is from his Acharya, and that is Swami Purushothamananji, who was a direct disciple of Swami Chinmaya. Okay, he was the first among the first 5, and Gurudev, he's no more now. Gurudev used to call him his Marathi mouth. So Gurudev used to say, that is me speaking in Marathi over there, Swami Purushothamananji. So when these instructions are written here, and I'm telling you, please take them to heart, because they're not from me, they're not from my dad in my dad's writing, but they're from Swami Purushothamananji, and then that is directly from Gurudev then. So this is very important. So kutastha, stay like a kuta, stay like an anvil. You don't change. Outside things will change, people will change, circumstances will change, objects will change. Today this object is there, tomorrow it may not be there with you. So you remain kuta, same. Vijitendriya, senses under your complete control, means senses under control means mind under control, means the mind is not allowed to run out with the senses. And not allowed means not as a matter of force, but as a matter of knowledge. As a friend, that's why he said, make mind your friend. So, you know, a friend is one who will listen to you, na? What is friend? What is the meaning of friend? If you're a friend to somebody and if your friend is telling you something, you know what, don't do this, Jaya, it's not, then you say, oh, my friend is telling me, I will not do. So Vijitendriya, one who has won over the senses, not by force, but by understanding. But by understanding that this is not going to take me to my goal. Not going to take me to my goal. Let me not do this. So he becomes a Vijitendriya. He becomes one who, of course, has gained the experience of the self, and that is what this whole chapter is about, meditation. But as spiritual seekers, we have not gained the experience of the self, but we have heard about it. So we should try to control our senses and remain same in every circumstance. Yukta iti uchate yogi. Such a person is a yogi, a one who has joined with the higher. Yogi is one. Yuj, yoga, coming from yoga, dhatu yuj, to join. So yogi is one who has joined with the higher, with the bliss. And then to such a person, sama, equal, equanimous, loshta, so stone, lump of earth. Loshta is mud or earth. Ashma is this stone, and Kanchana is gold. Now, this part has to be understood clearly. I'll tell you a story actually first. Sant Jnaneshwar is one of the leading Advaita masters from Maharashtra. And there were 3 brothers and 1 sister. The sister was the youngest. Then second was Sant Jnaneshwar, and then Sopan, and then Nivrutti. These were there's a whole story some other time. Okay. Anyway, so these 2 little ones, Sant Jnaneshwar was probably 10 or 12 years old. Muktabai was even younger, but Muktabai is considered to be she was the most mature. She was younger than him. She was the youngest sister. The sister and brother had gone to the river to take a bath. Those days they used to go, they were living in a village. They used to go to the river. While coming back, there was a gold piece or a gold ring or some gold thing on the road. And Mukta sees it, and she has a thought that my little brother, they were very poor. They were extremely poor. They didn't have any parents. So they were very poor. So she thinks my brother might think, like if I can take this and then sell it and we can have food. It's not even for any luxury items. So what she does is she quickly covers that ring with dirt. There's dirt roads there in the village. So she just pushes some dirt on top of the ring so that he won't see it. Of course, he had seen it as well. He took Samadhi at 28. And he wrote a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, which has got 1700 verses. 700 verses he made into 7. So there's a whole commentary which all of us are referring to all the time. Okay. So this is the master we are talking about. So he sees and he tells his sister, why are you covering one dirt with another? Look at his level of maturity. Saying both are dirt to me only. Whether it is do you think that's dirt to us? I would be running to pick up the thing. Even if it is, oh, is that gold? Is that a coin? Right? So what is sama means? See, each one of them has their own value, has their own importance. If you want to build a house, can you use gold to build a house? You need mud only, no? Mud and stone you need. Depends on what your purpose is. You need, if you want to make jewelry, of course you cannot make it out of stone. Nobody wears stone jewelry. Then you need gold. So each of these 3 things has their own value, and that should be recognized, that the person recognizes that this is gold, this will be useful maybe to, do good to others. It is wealth, it is whatever. So that recognition is there, but for him, he doesn't get attracted towards gold as opposed to the other things. He knows the value of each one of them, and that much value he gives each one of them. That is sama. Whatever value is to be given to mud, he gives, because mud is required too. I had a relative, in Dharwad, and he was actually just an ordinary police constable, but somehow he went into mining. And you know what he was mining? He was mining for dirt. Mitti, mati, mud he was mining, and he became rich. Mud. From mud he became rich, because mud is required. So he had these mines, and then he named his bungalow Dharti Dhan. Dharti, because it has come from the earth. The mud had come from the earth and he became rich with that. I know this person, knew he's not there anymore. But that is how he made his wealth. So even mud can make you rich, and even gold can make you, because gold can turn into mud. There is a saying, if he touches gold, it will become mud. And some people, they have the, like, how for plants, you say they have the green thumb. People have green thumb, no matter what plant you give them, that plant will survive. Like that, there are some people, they touch mud, they'll convert it into gold. Some people, they touch gold, it will get converted into mud. Mud means not physically, but he'll lose it all. So the importance of each one is there. Each one is important in its own way. And that much importance only should be given to those things. That is Sama. You give equal importance to all three. As far as realized masters are concerned, like Sant Jnaneshwar, gold is also mud is also mud for him. So he said, why are you covering one mud with another mud? She thought my brother might get tempted. She thought, but he didn't. He didn't get tempted. That is their vision. At least our vision, we should know. The thing what we should know is that my happiness is dependent on either, not dependent on either one of this. Just because I have more gold, I will be happy. Just because it is not like that. And each one has its own importance, and each one must be paid that much importance, must be given that much importance, and used as per its, whatever its function is. You use it for that. You use stone for whatever it's to be done, mud for whatever, gold for whatever, right? But you don't get tempted either way. You remain sama. That's why samatha, in and through Bhagavad Gita, as you study, you will come to know this samatha word comes many, many times. It will come. That is the main instructions. That is the thread. Samatha is the thread throughout Bhagavad Gita. Equanimity. All right. Now, next, with respect to people. So first it was with respect to thoughts. Then it was with respect to objects, right? Gold and mud and stone are objects. And now it is, what about the people? Because we meet different kinds of people. Surun mitraryudasina madhyasthadvesha bandhushu sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. He who is of the same mind to the good-hearted friends, enemies, the indifferent, the neutral, the hateful, relatives, the righteous and the unrighteous excels. So who is of the same mind excels. Same mind, sama. All these people that are 9 type of people have been described in this word. Surada is a well-wisher. Hridaya is hriday, heart. So one good-hearted person who is a well-wisher, a good-hearted person will always wish well of everybody. Mitra is a friend. Madhyastha is a mediator. Madhyastha is one who, when he sees two people are in conflict, he or she will go and interfere in the sense, in the good way, like, oh, this is not what he meant, don't fight, this type of thing. Dvesha is one who is hateful, means he's doing bad things and then he's hateful. There is udasin also. Sorry, there is, before madhyastha, there is utasina. Udasin is, indifferent. Two people are fighting. Mere ko kya karna hai? It's none of my business. I don't have to do. That is udasin, sitting above. So he's not taking any side. Madhyastha also is not taking side. He's trying to make the other person understand. Marriage counselors, they are madhyastha. When people have problems, then they go to a counselor and he says, okay, what is your side? What is your side? Now let's come to a central understanding, an understanding. So both parties are happy. That is a madhyastha. Udasin is, I'm not getting involved. You guys do whatever you want to do. That is udasin. Dvesha, bandhu, relative. Bandhu here is brother, relative, your relatives. Sadhu and papi. Sadhu is one who is living as per the dictates of the scriptures. And papi is one who is not doing, means there are do's and don'ts that are given in the Vedas. So sadhu is one who is doing all the do's, what they say, dotting all the I's and T's, right? The I's and T's. So that is the person, who's following all the rules. Stop sign, let me stop. Oh, red light, orange light, let me, other person, orange light, let me speed now. Let me go through this light, that sort of thing. So Papi is one who is not doing the do's. He's doing the don'ts. Ari is enemy. And then the Udasin I told you. So these are the different kinds of people. Now, see, the thing is, okay, well-wisher, that's okay. There are people who wish well for the sadhus, the saints or realized masters. Friend is okay. Madhyasti okay. Dvesha, hateful, means the person is hateful. But what happens is the realized master doesn't hate him. Because my reaction, that person may be bad. Okay. The person is bad. That's why there are all these different types of people that we come across. The person is, say, a papi or bad, but of course, realized master, they don't even think that, because they say this, even though this person has done so much bad, he's actually nothing but the pure consciousness. And they identifying with that higher level, they can never hate anybody. But this is at the highest level. We are not at that level. So even though we see bad, we must remind ourselves that it is because of their gunas that they are acting like this. They are actually part of they are actually the pure consciousness that I am. See, this thing is very important. You have to note one point here, that Bhagavan Shri Krishna says in Mahabharata, he tells Arjun, he says, Arjun, don't think that I am on your side because I hate Duryodhana. He says that. I do not hate the Kauravas. He can't. He's Bhagavan, because he knows that they are his part only. Bhagavan in 15 has said, Mama eva aushad jiva. He said, all jivas are my part. Then Duryodhana also is my part. How can I hate my own part? I don't hate them. I don't dislike them. But the reason I'm on your side is because of dharma. You are on the side of dharma. They are not on the side of dharma. And that is why I am on your side. So that's why the realized master never hates anybody. Even if it is the most hateful person, he doesn't hate them. Other people might hate them. Other people will hate them. But then they don't know. And the reason he doesn't hate them is out of knowledge. He knows. He knows. Why is this person behaving like this? Because Rajas is more, Tamas is more, whatever. The gunas are playing a big part. That's why we have the plea of insanity in court, right? In a court of law, the lawyer will say, Your Honor, my client did not know what he was doing. And then the judge says, okay, on the basis of insanity, I let him go. So this is how the realized master thinks. He is insane. He doesn't know who he is, who we really are. We are the pure consciousness, huh? Not like we really are this person or that person or this degree or that degree, but that is who we are. And that way, relatives. So in our relatives also, we have a mixed bunch. What can you do? They say you can choose your friends, but not your relatives. But that's why the instruction in chapter 12 is very good. He says, you be friendly to everybody. Every time I talk to my cousins in India, they tell me, every cousin is telling this, that other cousin did this, that. Now, I told one of my cousins last week only, I said, you know what? We've got very little life remaining. Don't fight now. It's okay. Whatever he did. Just let go and just be friendly to everybody now. This is what I'm doing. Everybody comes. I'm here neutral. That's one thing. I'm not in India. I'm here. So everybody tells me, like I said, you know what? Just let go. So this is how we should be. And if it is a sadhu, it's not like, oh, he's such a good person. Like I like him very much. The realized master doesn't do that. I love you. You do very good. We do that, right? So nice. He's been good to me. So I like. It's not like that. Papi is one who is not following the scriptures. So the realized master says, okay, he doesn't know what he's doing, not doing. Ari, enemy. The realized master doesn't have any enemy, but the person might think of the realized master as an enemy. This is to be understood, because this verse belongs to a realized master. Now the question arises, if he's a realized master, why should he have enemies? He won't. A realized master, a highly evolved spiritual seeker also will not have enemies. That's why we have the instruction, we are friendly to all. How can there be enemy? But the other person might think, na, I might not have any enemy type feelings towards a person, but that person I cannot control. He or she might think, oh, she's my enemy, that way. So this enemy should be understood. Udasina is one who is not okay. He doesn't want to take any part in this conflict. That's fine. One Madhyastha, he wants to take part in the conflict. Okay, that's fine too. Everything is fine. All okay. That is how samata, equanimity. And the reason so far Bhagwan has talked about this, about climbing the steed of the mind, is because now when we have that mind under our complete control, means what? Means I tell the mind, what is, it's like a dog. Okay, you say, sit, the dog will sit. Don't bark. How the owner tells a dog, right? No, Tommy, no. Then the dog withdraws. Otherwise, the dog is coming to lick somebody else, and then the other person is going like, owner. That way our mind should be. Okay, this is my time to meditate. Sit. Now you order the mind. Sit. And where to sit? Sit at one place. Sit at this place. Sit at Aham Brahmasmi. Sit. And the mind should be able to do that. The mind should be. This is why these many instructions have been given. Next verse, Bhagwan will start with external preparation, and then this is the internal preparation of the mind, which is more important than the external preparation. Okay, external preparation, external circumstances we can change, but mind is only yours, right? So the mind has to be under your control. That's why Bhagwan has given all these instructions, how to bring it under your control, how to climb the steed of your mind. Once you have climbed the steed of your mind, meditation will become extremely easy. What is meditation? Meditation is just holding the mind at one place. Even in the external world, scientists who are working in a lab, for hours, they are concentrating, under the microscope, or one who is looking up at it through the telescope or whatever. Their whole mind is concentrated at that one place, except in the transactional world, the mind is concentrated on a point external to that person. In Vedantic meditation, we are asking the mind to concentrate on the place within us. Within us. The mind is a monkey mind. It is used to running outside. Monkey can never sit at one place. Same is our mind. It's like a child. It will run here, run there, run there, run there, run there. Like that, this mind is used to doing that. Now we have to tame the mind. With these verses, we have tamed the mind. We have made the mind our friend. Now the friend is ready to listen to us. So when we sit in the seat of meditation and we say, sit, to our own mind, we have to talk to our own mind. Sit on Aham Brahmasmi. Do not move. Do not fall. Then meditation will become easy. This is easier said than done. It's very easy for me to say the words. It is not like that. But now we will take a break. So you have 3 months. 10 September will be starting. So you have 3 months to contemplate on these verses. And when we come back, then we will start with verse 10. Now we have some time. Any questions? Anybody wants to ask anything? Yes, Sugita.
I have a question that my daughter asked, and then this morning you showed a chart.
Mm-hmm.
That chart, I saw that it surely, she asked for what is Shivalinga, why it looks like that. And I realized that the chart you showed is something similar to what
the Shivalinga. Okay.
Yeah. Is that something related to how that's how it formed? I don't know.
Gurudev is the one that came up with that chart. Okay. So can you show the chart again, Premsai, please? Thank you. So look at the chart now. So there is PFT at the very bottom line. Okay. No, sorry, there's OET. So O is for objects. This is the external world. This lowest level is the grossest. Like objects is in the outside world. Emotions is in the mind. and thoughts is in the intellect. Why is my voice echoing? Okay. All right. Now, the instruments that we have is body, mind, and intellect. Through the body, we perceive the objects. Through the body means what? Body has got these sense organs. Okay. So through the body, we perceive the objects. Through the mind, we feel emotions. Mind is, the emotions are at a level of the mind. Emotions is what? Joy, sorrow, happy, sad. I feel kind, I feel compassionate, I'm sentimental. All these are emotions. And intellect is the thinker of the thoughts. Intellect, see this difference between mind and intellect. It's there in this Tattva Bodh book. Tattva Bodh, if you read. So the mind is the feeler of emotions and the intellect is the thinker of thoughts. Now, you see those arrows, there is only one Vasana level, which is pointing to all three, which means, like I explained today, everything is stored in the level of the Vasana from our previous births. Impressions in subtle form. Stored means not gross form, in subtle form. That subtle impression gives an idea in the intellect. The scientist who thought that we can land on the moon, that's where it has come from the intellect. First time, because the mind cannot think of things which it has not known before. Intellect is the one that thinks those type of ideas. Mind will feel the emotions and the body will like or dislike the objects as per the Vasana. Like I told you, if there is a Vasana of tea within me, then when a cup of tea comes, I will feel like drinking it. If that Vasana is not there, then the tea, doesn't matter how many cups of tea or best tea, I will not feel like drinking it. It is not based on the shape of the Shivlinga or any such thing. There is no, this is absolutely practical. Shivlinga is a different concept, totally different concept. So that falls under Bhakti Shastra. This is knowledge, this is jnana. And these vasanas, subtler than the vasanas is this Om, supreme consciousness, which Vedanta says we are. Okay, we are that supreme consciousness, but what has happened is we have fallen down. We have actually fallen from our place of supreme bliss, and we have collected vasanas or impressions throughout our births, because of which this birth has happened. And because of this, each one of us has this particular, see, body is either tall, short, fat, thin, black, white, blue eyes, gray eyes, green eyes, whatever. That's how the body has come because of those vasanas. That is how the mind has come in that body. And that is how that intellect has come from the vasana level. So if your daughter is asking you if there is any connection between this and Shivlinga, no. The only connection is that Om is the Shivlinga alone. There's nothing to do with the shape. This shape is it's just because this is the easiest way of showing it. There is a book called Logic of Spirituality, which we have, and that explains this chart in detail, how Gurudev explained it in the beginning. Okay, so this is what it is. You can tell her that Shivlinga, the Om is representing the Shivlinga, but it is also representing Vishnu. It is also representing Devi. It is also representing Krishna. It is representing Rama. It is any Hanuman, everybody, Saraswati, Brahmaji. Om is representing all that. Below is the not self. So to the shape, no connection whatsoever. Which class? Whose class is your daughter in?
Prem Sai's class.
Okay, Prem Sai, if you want to address that in your class, that would be good. He'll address it as well. But you understand it?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's beyond what this chart shows. It's only the Om.
Only the Om. Shiva.
Her question is why the shape? Maybe it is because Nirakara or
no, shape is, sorry, what?
Nirakara, that's what.
No. The shape is, you can write it in any shape. He could have written it in the circle. It's showing the one supreme reality getting divided into these three aspects. It is only one. We are all of us are only one, but we are now divided into male, female, tall, short, fat, thin, emotional, not emotional, intelligent, not intelligent, doctor, engineer. This is all the divisions. But there is only one Om that we all are. And that is Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma, Saraswati, Mata Rani, whoever. So it shouldn't be understood as only Shiva. Now, what about Vishnu? Where is Vishnu? No, Vishnu is there only. Krishna is there only. Rama is there only. That has to be understood. The oneness in all the deities. Okay. Any other questions?
Jayji, you'd mentioned when we think about people who are adharmic, right? Like obviously Krishna doesn't hate Duryodhana. How are we to deal with people in our lives who we have to deal with, who possibly have adharmic beliefs or, you know, all sorts of stuff like that? I know we're not supposed to hate them. That's step one, but it can also be agitating to try and convince them, talk to them, but you also don't want to pretend like it's not there. So what's the best course of action? Say a family member or a friend is doing something. How do we deal with them?
Okay. The first thing is that person asking you for advice? Think about Bhagavad Gita. I told you many times, Bhagwan did not open his mouth until Arjun said, I am confused. That is number one. Criteria is number one. If that person is doing, you can always, one thing is always in our hands is to pray. So we can always say, oh Lord, show him the path. Okay, that is in my hands. I can do that. Is that person asking for help? Why am I like this? What do you think this is happening? Why do you think? Then you answer as per whatever is your capacity. If that person is not asking you anything, do not try to improve him. We cannot improve anyone else. Our own children also we cannot improve. Each one has come with their own set of vasanas, and those vasanas fructify, and that is how that child or that person behaves. And we have no control over our own vasana. Okay, why? Because I don't even know what vasana I have. Now you're trying to control somebody else's vasana. It's futile. It's futile. So you're wasting your energy. But if that person is asking you, then definitely, then you can refer books. Like I said now, those who want to understand that chart, The Logic of Spirituality is the best book. That is original Gurudev's lecture or explanation explaining that chart. And that chart is very, very important. Okay. But those who are new have not said, but in Tattva Bodh and all, I have explained all this. That is how it is. And do not mistake, it is not the shape of Shivlinga. That is an imagination. That's not. It's not. Does that answer your question, Prem Sai?
Yes, JG, one more question about that though. You know, when it comes to dealing with them, let's say, you know, do you invite them to family gatherings? Do you go if they're there, or is it okay to stay away if you feel like that's going to agitate you?
Yeah, that is a very good thing. See, anything that agitates you, you should stay away from it, because the bottom line is to keep your mind at peace. Okay. Now, there could be like a general wedding or something where it would look really bad if you just didn't invite this cousin of yours. So you invite, but because he came to that function, it's not like you have to go and hug him and, you know, hi, hello. No, you can say, oh, hi, welcome to the party. And then you can stay at a distance, right? Maintain your distance from those people or situations or objects which agitate you. Because the peace of your own mind is the most important thing to you. Okay. So, and if there is a chance that you don't have, you need not invite them, then don't invite them. But there might be circumstances where you have to. Right. But then you don't have to just be with him. Like, you always have a choice of not inviting him or her alone to your house where only you will. No, don't do that. Right.
And in
Because
situations where you do have to see them, don't let that also agitate you, saying, why are they coming? Why do I have to do them? Just do what you have to
just
do.
say and be friendly. That's why we have our instruction. Be friendly. Hi, hello. How is there are so many neutral topics that you can talk about, right? Oh, it's kind of hot today, because sometimes, there are some people which I have found, no matter what topic, it becomes into an argument. It's like hard to even choose a topic sometimes. You know what I mean? Like anything, you say something and then something else comes up. So try to keep it at a very, very neutral. And then another one, my best friend from school, who's no longer there, she had a very good principle. The best way to agree, the best way to disagree is to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that person is saying something which you totally, it's like, oh, right, yeah. And then no more. No, conversation, try to end it at a place where the conversation doesn't, and I'll give you a perfect example of this also. So my son is very, very objective, Neil. So anyway, so my husband and I, first time we were traveling to China, and then it was like the first time we both were leaving the kids here. And so I said to my son, what if something were to happen to both of us, because now we're traveling together, anything can happen, where my will is. And very quietly he said, Mom, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. No more conversation. But you see, I was talking, and then this friend of mine said, oh, my daughter, she gets very emotional. She doesn't like me talking about the will. Because what happens is, suppose if you were to say, oh, Mom, don't say like that, then the conversation is going further. Right? Whereas he put an end to it. He said, don't worry, you want me to, I'll take care of the will. I know where it is. Finish. So that way, finish the conversation. Somebody says, it's too, okay, fine. There's no need to argue about anything. Just the other day, my personal trainer, she said to me, yesterday I could smell smoke in Vancouver. And I said, oh, afternoon, you know what? I was in the senior center and it's air conditioning, so I really didn't finish. Story ended. Not like, no, I never smelled any smoke. No, my area is very clean. No need. She was just telling me there would not have been an argument. I just said, no, I was in an air-conditioned space. So there was no question of me smelling any. Maybe there was. So I've agreed with her also. Maybe there was smoke outside, but I didn't smell it. So I was listening to actually even, Brahma Kumaris. They say the less you talk, the more you will conserve energy. So right, with people whom you think that now this is going to go like that Maruti's tail, there's going to be no end to it, put an end to it. You have a choice. We always have a choice. That's why we have to be the master of our own mind. Okay. All right, we've gone over time. Have a great summer. 10th September, Prem Sai, you'll send the reminder out to everybody. It'll be the same link. I don't think the link is going to change. And we will come back. And please read these verses again. And for those of you who are new, Sweda, Ratna, you're new, if you can, I think my Bhagavad Gita lectures are on our site. If you have the time, it would be
They're on our YouTube channel, Jayaji.
YouTube channel.
Chinmaya Mission Vancouver and YouTube, you should be able to find them all.
Yeah. So if you want to go from chapter 1 onwards, it'll help. As you go further, it's better to have. So you can quickly, you have 3 months, you can come up, because all of these people have heard all that. Having said that, that's about it. And Prem Sai, I know you're busy with the fundraiser and all, but we need to at some point talk about our Friday class, sending out the email. But let us do it maybe next week or whenever, okay? Whenever you have time. All right. So have a great summer, and I will see you all in September. And some of you, I'll see you tomorrow anyway. Monday class is going on. Okay. Om swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyaha prithvi sasya shalini desho yamksho barahita brahmana santu nirbhayaha om sarvesham swasti bhavatu sarvesham shantir bhavatu sarvesham purnam bhavatu sarvesham mangalam bhavatu sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukha sukha bhag bhave. Toma satoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Purnamadav purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva avashishate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, Hari Om, everybody.